In the headlines, political realignment in Kano as Kwankwaso meets Shekarau. Police arrest suspected bandits in Kaduna forest. Gunmen set ablaze court, local government secretariat in Anambra. And on the foreign scene, Iraq at standstill as sandstorms rages Monday. Hello and welcome to Trust News Update. I'm Darshan Hussaina Usman. Now the news in detail. Senator Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso on Sunday visited Senator Ibrahim Shekarau to finalize arrangements leading to Shekarau's defection to the new but fast-growing New Nigerian People's Party. Shekarau had been expected to officially announce his defection from the ruling All Progressives Congress on Saturday, but the plan was shelved for an undisclosed reason. Governor Abdullahi Ganduje had visited Shekarau Friday night to prevail on him to shelve the defection, with the latter shunning an Abuja meeting after reportedly gathering that it was not the presidency that called the peace parley. Sources in Shekarau's camp told Daily Trust that the defection is almost a done deal, as all the associates of the former governor in all the 44 local government areas have agreed to move to the NPP. No fewer than 145 governorship aspirants and 1,548 National Assembly aspirants under the platform of the All Progressives Congress on Sunday besieged the venue for the party screening exercise to be cleared to contest party's primaries. Trustee Shafiu Suleiman, who monitored the screening, reports that the aspirants are upbeat for a positive outcome as they face the screening panel.
As it is with Nigeria's political culture, governors rounding up their second terms of stewardship usually move to the Senate, perceived as retirement enclave for them. They move in to the venue of the screening exercise to perform yet another political party ritual.
Very smooth, very simple, because it's a procedure that we are used to, and I've done it.
It went very well, very orderly, well organized.
For some incumbent senators like Smarta Deyemi, representing Kogi West Senatorial District, there is no limit for a return ticket.
You cannot say you have qualified to run until when they say you have also qualified to run. So, notwithstanding that you are a sitting senator, you wait for the verdict. So when we get the report from the screening committee, then we now look at the strategies of how to cross the bridge.
The committee members they did a very good job, I must confess. I must commend them because of the surging crowd, confusion. They were able to handle it well. So I'm very happy with the process.
The venue for the screening exercise is a beehive of activities as the governorship and National Assembly aspirants remain upbeat of meeting the requirements set out by the party, which holds the ace for their chances of moving to the next step of the electoral process. Shafiu Suleiman, Trust TV News, Abuja.
Operatives of the Inspector General of Police Intelligence Response Team have arrested 2 suspected bandits in a Kaduna forest. The team, led by DCP Olatunji Disu, arrested them following a distress call to the operation of Puff Adder. The suspects were arrested after kidnapping a man in Bandoko community, Kaduna State. According to Force Public Relations Officer CSP Muyiwa Adejobi, the suspects confessed that their initial plan was to abduct and gang rape the victim's wife. Suspected arsonists have burned down Idemili North Local Government Secretariat in Ogidi and a magistrate court in Anambra State. Reports say the arsonists entered the premises on Sunday night to perpetuate the act, burning down all files, properties in the Secretariat, including the Secretariat building. Videos and pictures circulating online shows that the entire buildings were reduced to rubble, while vehicles parked inside the local government secretariat were also burned to ashes. Spokesperson for the Anambra State Police Command, DSP Tochukwu Ikenga, who confirmed the incident, attributed it to unidentified arsonists. He said normalcy has been restored to the area. The Northern Governors Forum has condemned the killing of Deborah Samuel, a student of Shehu Shagari College of Education, Sokoto, who was killed on allegations of blasphemy. Chairman of the forum, Simon Lalong, and Governor of Plateau State, in a statement, expressed the governor's concern about the development, which was clearly an extrajudicial measure of addressing perceived infractions. Governor Lalong frowned at the adoption of self-help to address grievances, whether religious or otherwise, noting that such could only lead to further chaos that may threaten law and order. The NGF, while commiserating with the family of the victim, urged security agencies to thoroughly investigate the matter and ensure that the law takes its full course on anyone found wanton or culpable in the circumstance. The Borno State Commissioner of Police has cautioned religious leaders and people of Borno to shelve any planned protest over the Sokoto blasphemy incident. This follows the meeting on peace building with religious leaders and other security stakeholders with the Commissioner on the directive of the state governor. Intelligence reports suggest that some residents were planning to shut down the city in reaction to the alleged Sokoto blasphemy incident that resulted to the death of a female student named Deborah Samuel. At the meeting, the Commissioner of Police, Abdu Umar, called on the religious leaders to help the state maintain peace by ensuring that their followers stay peaceful.
You all know that here in Borno, Yobe and Adamawa states, there is Boko Haram crisis, which we are trying to calm the situation and enjoy the peace we are experiencing now. But with what happened in Sokoto recently is the reason we called for this gathering to enlighten our people, and it's expected of us to extend the message here to our followers on the importance of peace. The governor called me this hour that we should have this meeting, even if it's to wake everyone, to discuss so we can avoid what happened in Sokoto to occur in Borno. We will take action accordingly. The chief imam will summon all the malams and preachers and talk to them. He will deliver the message of the Commissioner of Police to them. I will also appeal to the Khan chairman to talk to the pastors and Christians to avoid religious comments. It will really help to stop spreading the story of. We, the Christian community in Borno State, have agreed to maintain peace. I have written letters to all the pastors in Borno, telling them to inform their members that we don't want any reaction from them, and they should go about their normal routine activities without any fear of attack. We are law-abiding and we have a total submission to the teaching of God as enshrined in the Holy Bible.
Queues over the weekend reduced in most filling stations in the Federal Capital Territory, paving way for motorists and other residents to get the commodity at a shorter time. In this report, Kabir Lawal spoke to motorists and other vehicle owners on the need for the federal government to make the commodity available during weekdays. The report.
At the peak of the scarcity, roadside vendors, popularly called black marketers, took advantage of the situation to sell at exorbitant prices. This reduced the purchasing power of average buyer, while some resorted using taxis to and from their destinations. However, in Abuja metropolis, for consumers have heaved a sigh of relief as the product has become more available with queues reducing.
Oh, honestly, maybe just because today is Sunday, that's why. Sometimes within the working days, you may realize the line is too much. So I think just because today is Sunday, you have seen how the drivers are suffering. So I don't see any problem with the travel, what do you call it? Because whenever the fuel increase, definitely the price may be increasing. So I don't see any problem with that.
Well, I've been here for over 30 minutes. I just came from church actually. Queues were longer than this during the week. It was longer during the week anyway. Yeah, but maybe because it's Sunday, people will close from church and start queuing now.
They expressed happiness and called on federal government to find a lasting solution to the fuel scarcity due to its effect on the economy through price increase.
This week now it don't come down. I felt today for tomorrow, but we don't know how tomorrow will be. Monday morning will be. But today now, the thing is getting better. Since yesterday, Francis Friday is getting better. But now I don't know the next week the Monday will be. Therefore, I can get better. Make it the airport. We will see with the commercial like this. Make it the airports. Make the first day. Because if we know fuel, we cannot make tour. Our family cannot get something to go work to. Make the airports. Make the fare come down. If we are able to make the day normal, at least if you understand they come now. The other this morning they make it the fare the day normal. Now we need the scarcity of the fare.
Long-distance drivers passing through Abuja are pleased with the ease of getting the product in the FCT and call on the federal government to look into the issue, which will go a long way to reduce transportation fares and spare parts.
He said the fuel scarcity in other states is more worse than that of the FCT, adding that black marketers in other states also sell the product at exorbitant prices.
This is how Sunday looks like in Abuja metropolis, where the queues are not as heavy as it used to be at weekdays. And motorists are smiling now. People are walking with jerry cans to buy fuel commodities for their car and also their generators at home. In Abuja, Kabiru Lawal, Trust TV News.
In the same vein, long queues are resurfacing at fuel stations in Katsina State, with motorists spending hours to purchase fuel. While most of the fueling stations belonging to independent marketers have remained closed, the few ones that are opened are selling above the pump price. Abdullahi Yamadi has details.
Motorists defy the scorching sun and choose to spend hours on the queue to buy petrol. Despite the inconvenience of waiting for long hours, they are not buying the commodity at the regulated pump price. Fuel sells in Katsina between 195 to 200 naira per litre, and these motorists are tired of the inconsistent policies and programs on petrol supply. They feel the federal government is not doing enough to cater for the welfare of the common man. These Katsina residents insist that it is high time the federal government deals with the issue of fuel scarcity head-on and bring Nigerians out of the woods. They are of the opinion that the fuel scarcity has succeeded in destroying the socio-economic fabric that guarantees the well-being of the ordinary Nigerian.
The problem of petroleum that we are facing is not from government, it's from our marketers. Because government didn't increase the price of petroleum, and they have already announced that the petroleum is there available. So why can't they go and take the fuel? So they are using this in order to make it difficult for us, in order to use this opportunity to sabotage. So my appealing to the government is that the issue is on subsidy. So let them remove the subsidy so that we know that this fuel we are buying it at our own without any subsidy.
Independent petroleum marketers say they buy the commodity from private depots at exorbitant prices, which is what affects distribution and sales at filling stations. But motorists accuse the marketers of impunity, subjecting ordinary citizens to harsh economic conditions. There appears to be some connivance between the government and the independent petroleum marketers. People have been suffering untold hardship for quite a while. For some time now, only major marketers dispense petroleum products in Katsina State at the government-approved pump price. On the flip side, regulatory agencies have allowed independent marketers to sell at exorbitant price without any form of control.
First of all, we know how we treat our customers. We treat them nicely, and secondly, we are giving out the product at the government approval price. And as you can see, when you get to other filling stations, you can see that there's fuel, but the price is higher than our own here.
This gives room for racketeers to make brisk business unchecked. Efforts to get the leadership of the regulatory body on petroleum products in Katsina proved abortive. Observers have warned that if this situation is left unchecked, it may likely affect the 2023 general elections. Abdullahi Ismayamadi, Trust Television News, Katsina.
You're watching Trust News Update. Coming up after the break. Culture of tribal marks going extinct. Do stay with us.
To every politician, as the campaigns gain momentum and passions begin to rise, remember, the errors of your opponents do not make you a success. Do not run down your opponent and inflame passions to violence between and among your supporters. What counts is what you plan to do for the electorate and how you intend to relieve the sufferings and bring succor. Nigeria is in dire need of patriotic leaders at all levels, leaders who will make national development their priority. Concentrate on telling the electorate what you intend to do when you get into office. Focus on making your vision clear to the electorate. Don't engage in verbal abuses, fake news or speeches. Keep dealing with issues that will bring progress. You win the hearts and minds of the people by being above board, by being civil, patriotic, and showing empathy. Let's join hands to make the 2023 elections peaceful. A message from the National Orientation Agency.
Welcome back and thanks for staying with us. Let's take a look at some of our major stories. You heard that there are indications of a political realignment in Kano as Kwankwaso meets Shekarau. We also told you that police have arrested suspected bandits in Kaduna Forest. Moving on to more news, at least 150 internally displaced persons in Nasarawa State have benefited from the distribution of sewing machines as part of efforts to provide an alternative means of livelihood. At the presentation ceremony in Lafia, the Nasarawa State Capital Governor Abdullahi Saleh explained that the gesture is part of his administration's efforts geared towards catering for the well-being of the internally displaced and vulnerable persons across the state. The report.
The distribution, which was a collaboration between the Nasarawa State Government, United Nations Development Programme, UNDP, and the Japanese government, drew beneficiaries from the 4 local government areas of Awe, Kiana, Obi, and Doma. The beneficiaries are victims of humanitarian crisis and displaced persons from various IDP camps in the state who have undergone 3 months training in various skills to enable them become self-reliant. Governor Sule explained that the move was to reduce the hardship being faced by the IDPs and to make them have a sense of belonging. While charging the beneficiaries to use the machines properly to enhance their livelihood, Governor Sule also called on other donor agencies and well-meaning individuals to emulate the initiative by the UNDP and the Japanese government to assist internally displaced persons and other vulnerable children.
Let me use the opportunity of the occasion to call on other development partners and philanthropists to emulate this gesture for the gainful employment of our youth and women for the overall benefit of the society, which I believe will serve as their source of income and to make them have a means of livelihood without depending on others for survival.
Representatives of UNDP, Chukwu Maome, said his organization, in collaboration with the Japanese government, also have a similar program in the state on agriculture to assist the internally displaced persons to engage in farming.
Is our only 2 ways to ensure that persons who have been affected by conflict, Your Excellency, are able to find their feet, empowered economically, given all sorts of skills and training to enable them embark on the journey of self-reliance and economic development.
Director General, Nasarawa State Emergency Management Agency, Zakari Alumaga, explained that the beneficiaries would go home with 1 sewing machine and other accessories as a startup park to set up their small-scale businesses. Speaking on behalf of the beneficiaries, Rita Ayam appreciated Nasarawa State Government, UNDP, and the Japanese government for coming to their aid.
Thank government of Japan and UNDP. Those humanitarian gesture has gone beyond our borders to include us here in Nigeria.
The age-long cultural practice of inscribing tribal marks on children's cheeks in Yoruba land is gradually fading and might go extinct. While many people want the practice stopped, there are people who believe that the culture of tribal marks should be sustained because of its benefits. Hamid Oyebade files in this report.
In Yoruba land, tribal marks serve different purposes. The people use these marks as a way of identification and a means of beautification, while they believe in their powers of healing and spiritual protection. They are a part of the Yoruba culture and are usually inscribed on the cheeks during childhood. One of the common tribal marks in Ile-Ife in Osun State is known as Pele, which comes as 3 long vertical lines drawn on the cheeks. The other versions are Pele Ijebu and Pele Ijesha. Another popular tribal mark in Yoruba land is the Gombo marking system, a complex combination of curved and straight lines on both sides of the face. It is common to people from Ogbomoso in Oyo State. However, the culture is gradually going into extinction in Yoruba land because of modernity. Fumilayo Adeyemi says tribal marks deface people and so should be stopped.
Tribal mark is a fashion of the old by our forefathers, and I don't think this mark is in vogue anymore. And the reason why I believe that this tribal mark should not be invoked again is because of the damages it has caused a lot of children. In the olden days, it is acceptable. But in the 21st century, we don't accept it any longer.
You see what happened when they even born me? They have to carry me out from our family house to another place so that they will not give me that tribal mark. Tribal mark in the olden days is very important. It's just a unique to know people where you came from. But as we are in a modern world, it's no longer useful.
In contrast, Olaide Oyelude and Prince Kola Oyelere both believe the practice should be sustained and want rulers to protect Yoruba cultural practices, including tribal marks.
I'm a Yoruba man. Concerning the issue of tribal marks, I will advocate that we should continue, we should not allow the culture of applying tribal marks on our children to die. Why? Tribal marks can be used to identify the community or the family that a baby or someone is from.
Increasing urbanization and modernization have rendered some cultural practices obsolete, which is why the practice of tribal marks may be on its way to extinction. Even the debate about their importance to society is not as loud as it was in years past.
One of the easiest ways of identifying a person is by their name. The importance of this means of identification makes it imperative that once a child is born, they're given one. In this report, Trust TV's Kabir Lawal takes a look at the significance of names and how they impact our everyday lives. The report.
To many, names are just an identification tag that carries no more significance or effect than naming who the bearer is, while others believe there is more to name that meets the eye. However, in African context, naming is a very important tool used among various cultures to convey certain messages, either to an individual, family members, or a community.
Amarachi means the grace of God. Okay. As a child growing up, I was always sick, so it took grace that I survived. My mom didn't really believe that I would live up to this age, so I feel like it's a name that follows me. The grace of God has always been around me. Well, we should be careful of names. It's just like the words we speak. It goes a long way in the children's life. So just like your words, the names has effect as well.
Some respondents believe that African children also receive a second name believed to be prayers, hope for the future, unnamed expectations, and parental aspirations. Names are also given based on geographic environment, religious beliefs, as well as past experiences. The chosen name may even offer insight into important cultural or socio-political events at that time.
Oh, my name is God's Glory Omojo.
So what is the meaning of your name?
God's Glory Omojo is like someone that represents the glory of God. God's glory. Then Omojo means child of God. Then Edibo is servant of God. Edibo is servant of a king. Do you understand? So there are these persons in our village that stands behind the king. So those persons, they call them Edibo. So they are servant of a king. But being born into a Christian family will now change into servant of God because we are standing behind God as his servants. So I feel every parent should just be conscious of giving their child good names that will represent what they really want in their child.
In modern African culture, naming ceremonies are celebrations that formally introduce a child to the world, its community, and announces the infant's name and meanings of the said names.
The name is of paramount importance in our society, which goes a long way to make the bearer good ambassador of the nation. He added that most time individuals change names that will have adverse effects on the bearer.
My name is Said Razak.
Said Razak.
Yeah.
So what is the meaning of your name?
The meaning of my name is, according to what I hear, is Anobi Said, it's prophet of Allah. I have Babatunde.
You have Babatunde?
Yeah.
Why do they call you Babatunde?
It's because my grandpa late. That's why they call me Babatunde.
One classic case of the impact of a name on a person's life is name Goodluck, which many Nigerians believe contributed to the meteoric rise of ex-President Jonathan from political oblivion to the zenith of politics in Nigeria. Kabir Lawal, Trust TV News, Abuja.
Away from Nigeria, another sandstorm descended Monday in Iraq, forcing the closure of airports, schools, universities, and public administrations across the country. Authorities say it is the 8th dust storm since mid-April to hit Iraq, which has been battered by soil degradation, intense drought, and low rainfall linked to climate change. The last one earlier this month led to the death of one person, while 5,000 others had to be hospitalized for respiratory problems. Meanwhile, health units across the country remain open as authorities warn that most at risk are elderly persons, people suffering from chronic respiratory diseases, and heart ailments. With this, we've come to the end of Trust News Update. Don't forget to follow us across all our social media platforms. I'm Dashan Husseina Usman. Thanks for watching.